the Chow now recognizes Mr. Sablan for 5 minutes for questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good afternoon, and welcome to our witnesses. It's nice to see you again, Dr. Freeberg. ML, I'm sorry we missed our lunch date in Palau, but thank you for taking care of Brian and Ken. Appreciate that. Mr. Gray, I usually don't do this, but I'll make an exception here, sir, special guy. But I want to clear up some misconceptions about birth tourism, please, that you raise in your testimony, because you are giving my district, we already have a little black eye, a bit of a bigger black eye, if I may. You state that, quote, in recent years, foreign births in the Marianas have exceeded native ones, correct?
That was the information that I had been given during my service at the White House.
Okay, but, wow, because here it is 2023. I do not seem to get what you mean by recent years. But in fact, foreign births in the Marianas have not exceeded resident births since 2018. And even before the pandemic, tourist births were going down, and last year, only 3 tourists gave birth in the Marianas, 2 from China, 1 from Korea, South Korea. Madam Chair, I ask that this report of live births by mother's resident status from the Vital Statistics Office of the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation be added to the record, please.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Madam Chair, for context, may I also add to the record this report by the Center for Immigration Studies on birth tourism in the United States as a whole. There may be 26,000 birth tourists annually, the center says, and they enter our country under tourist visa. I think it is important for members to understand the Marianas is not the source of birth tourism problem. The report of live births in the Marianas does indeed reveal a deep problem, a real problem, however, the huge drop in births among U.S. population. In 2010, there were 670 births to residents of the Marianas. In 2022, that number was down to 388, a 42% decline in births. That declining births rate mirrors the overall population decline in the Marianas as measured by our decennial census. We lost 12.2% of our population in that 10-year period, the second largest decrease of any U.S. state or territory. And that population drop is why I introduced the Marianas Population Stabilization Act, H.R. 560. And I hope, Madam Chair, the subcommittee will act on my legislation to shore up the larger U.S. position in the Western Pacific. Mr. Gray, you were with the White House National Security Staff during the Trump administration. And you share my concern, and I'm sure concern of other members of this committee about the expanding influence of China in the Western Pacific. Yes?
Absolutely.
I agree with you, sir. Yet, I don't think it strengthens America's position in the region if our population there is shrinking. People usually move away from their homes when they see better opportunities elsewhere. People move to improve their quality of life, to get a better education for their children, for better infrastructure, to earn more money. I can't stop them from moving. So, as a national security expert, Mr. Gray, you would agree it hurts America's position in the Western Pacific vis-a-vis China if people are leaving the Marianas for a better life elsewhere. Would you say?
Congressman, I think the most important thing, as far as my perspective on the Pacific, is that CNMI continue to have a strong social cohesion and to have an economy that can continue to sustain itself for years to come. That's my concern.
And with that, sir, I cannot agree with you more. We are hurting now really bad, and the federal government continues to take that back. We are a part of the United States, a permanent part of the United States, because we chose to be. Nobody forced us. By referendum, we chose to be. We're not other parts of the insular areas. And just like I must say, hearing all our witnesses, the smart ones too, let me say this, that none of the three COFA nations, the Federated States of Micronesia, who just, I understand, finalized agreements with the United States, and I'm very happy for that, the Republic of the Marshall Islands, and the Republic of Palau. All of these three island nations have the choice to negotiate with someone else, and yet they are here negotiating with us. And the very least we can do, again, Madam Chair, please, all of us as Americans in our own better national interest, let's not wait another 10 years or 8 years, and we go over passport fees to fund this Compact of Impact Associations. We have to get serious. And I'm glad that Chairman Westerman's comments that he's going to give this every priority. I thank all of you. My time is over, Madam Chair. I apologize, and thank you.
Thank you. The chair now recognizes Mr. Lamar.